Hello and welcome to this Project in Box video tour. In this tour we're going to be having a quick look at the new Planner version 3.1. So Planner provides you with plan and task management, which includes cost management now, also risk and issue management for your projects. You can use it across the complete suite of Project in Box methods, and in fact all methods come pre-populated with templates to support Planner. You can also, on the commercial packages, run reporting directly from the plans, tasks, risks and issues collected in your Planner files, and on our multi-user platforms you can also do resource profiling from that as well. So let's have a look quickly through the product itself. So here I have my Planner, and Planner runs in 3 different tabs here. In some cases you may find one of them only active and locked like that. In other cases all 3 may be present. So here's my plan, and it works very much like other plans that you may have found, other planning tools you may have found, although we have an above and below sort of form arrangement here, where we can see the Gantt chart visible at the top and the task list for that visible underneath, and it ties the 2 together. As I click at one place in the task list, it'll tie it to the plan, and if I click at another place in the plan, it'll highlight the appropriate task below. Tasks are very quick and easy to set up, and they're structured in the normal sort of way tasks within summaries. So if we go and have a look at a particular task, this is an interesting one because it's got multiple predecessors, we can just very simply set up our task with a name and a description, and we've got then some things that manage its summary levels, and we've got what manages its start and end dates and the like. And we can also, of course, as this task progresses, store comments about it, descriptions of how the work's going and what we're doing, etc. All available and useful to share with your colleagues. We can also allocate resources against tasks, and these are done by simply putting in the username and allocating a percentage of time during the duration of that task. Now actually we also store for these users now a cost per hour rate, and that means we can generate a predicted cost for this task across its entire duration. So this task runs for 16 hours, we know what people's allocations are on the cost per hour, therefore we know what the resource cost should be. Now we also take that a step further, and as percentage complete is put in on this task, and this is 100%, it now shows a predicted progress cost of £340. And you can then record against here actual costs to line that up here. So if I put in an actual cost of £340 here, and update those figures, we'll see that included here. Of course, if we're looking at a summary bar, we might have a cumulative cost showing as well, showing the totalling up of the tasks within this summary. And we can also store fixed costs, and fixed costs could be a purchase that we're doing or an external invoiced activity, something of that type. That can be stored against individual tasks and also summaries. And so using that we can build up quite an interesting cost picture. But of course we've got an awful lot of data now, lots of different data for each different task, and we're only showing a limited set here in our what we call default view, which is associated with the direct task itself. And views is a very important part of how Planner works. On our ribbon here we can very quickly come to the views ribbon, and we can select an interesting perspective on the plan data. So I'm currently in default, but if I go to costs, I can instead see the cost perspective. So it's preset view here. It's not changed particularly the display at the top here, but what it has changed is the display columns that I'm looking at. And here I can see my cumulative total costs, progress cost, actual costs that I've got recorded and rolled up against my various tasks. So it's a different sort of way of thinking about the data that we hold and how we show it. And in fact these views can be not just about changing the columns, but also including filters. And so let's have a look at a filter for something we're all very interested in, which is overdue tasks. So when I click on this, it goes away and it identifies all the tasks which are overdue, and it shows them to me. Hides all the rest of them away, and it shows me the columns that I think I'm going to be interested in around that. And here we can actually see we've got quite a long list of columns on display. So very easy to do that, and in fact this view area has a whole load of set fixed views that are provided as standard, and you can then take these and customize them and put them into your private views, or you can just use them. So these ones on the right hand side are saved with the plan, and as you send it out to your colleagues they'll be able to pick those up and use them as well. So that's really quite a neat way of finding out what's going on in our plan. We have a very similar sort of idea on the risk and issues side as well. So as I come through to risks here, I can see my risk display. Same sort of thing here. I've got some risks and I've got some responses for them perhaps. Actually, I can see as I look at this and I'm in a view, my top 5 high value risks. So I'm focusing on 5 most significant value risks. If I instead go and put this back into my default view for risks, I can now see my more complete list of risks showing here. Risks are working exactly the same sort of way. We simply click on the risk to set it up with its description. So we've got cause, event and effect. If we want to use those as well, we can categorize them, and all these sort of categorization status options, the things that drive the calculation of the risk significance, the rating of it, inherent or residual, are all available to be customized. Very simple to use. You just simply drag the on the scale, but you can customize how these calculations are all set up. Again, it uses commentary fields, or you can manage responses if you want to manage your risks in a more formal way. So we can run views here to get the particular combination of risk viewing that we're interested in, but we also offer charts for our risk and issue views. So we can come and pick up the charts. We've got typical sort of bar charts. We've got risk rating spreads showing how our risks are hopefully improving in performance as we come down to the right. And in fact, we can also see red ones, which are negative risks, i.e. opportunities. So you can record opportunities here as well if you want to. And if opportunities have values associated with them, they will net out against the risk values. So when we come here and look at our risk values and averages, we might have £80,000 worth of risks identified and £17,500 worth of opportunities. That's therefore netting out the 62,500. So it'll manage that part of the process for us. Exactly the same sort of thing available with issues as well, with charts and management of these in views, and the same sort of things we put in the form. It's slightly simpler here in the issue area because there's not quite as much calculation going on. And of course you can record in your comments area, as we say, any sort of thing we want to, links to sources of information. You can even include links to local files now on these comment fields. So very useful for just keeping a much more structured control of risks and issues than we might do otherwise in Excel, which is, to be honest, what most people traditionally manage their risks and issues in. And with all these sort of things, we can get the data out very easily as well. So we can either use our major import-export feature to get out spreadsheets of data in a structure that we're interested in, or to bring them back in, or we can use the very simple way, which is just simply to right-click. If I right-click down here, I can get the data I'm currently viewing. So this is view-centered, which makes it really interesting, because if we want to go and get cost data out, I can come back over here, and I can go and select my cost view. So here's my costs. I say, right, this is what I want out. So I'm going to right click on here, and I'm going to go get my cost view either as a CSV or as an image. So let's get it as a CSV, and I can then go and drop that in a spreadsheet. So here's a spreadsheet, and I can just paste that, and I've got my cost data from the project. If I'd had a view, if perhaps I then ran a filter on this and said just give me summary tasks, or just give me tasks that are complete, I could do that very easily and get all that data out, and that will happen even if we've got hundreds and hundreds of tasks here. In this case we've only got something like 40 odd, but very simple to do, and these views are really quite powerful. We can get our data out as simply as that, or if we want to get the what we're currently looking at as an image, we can get it like this and do exactly the same sort of thing with it. So let's just go and drop the image on top of there, and there's my current Gantt chart image for this project. So incredibly easy to use, incredibly easy to share the outputs. Of course it's completely free, so you can give it, as I say, to anybody you want to, and in fact the recommend to a friend here allows you to very quickly copy that to your clipboard and send somebody the link for how to get hold of the software themselves. So that's a very quick overview, taking us through plans, risks and issues. There's a much more complete tour running to nearly half an hour, going through Planner in its entirety in a bit more detail, and then we have a whole set of separate tours looking at plans, risks and issues and administration of Planner, because it's now able to configure and lock and store various attributes for you. I hope that's useful, and I hope you enjoy using Planner and it delivers for you. Thank you.